Hey everyone, this is Chesko, and this is the Frostfall 2.0 developer preview number 2. The first one was all about tents, and this one's going to be all about dynamic backpacks. So I showed off a tech demo for dynamic backpacks a long time ago, like back in May, I think, and the response was, phenomenal. And I think that this is one of the features that people are looking forward to the most. So they serve two purposes. One is to sort of offset the weight cost of all this additional survival equipment that Frostfall demands that you carry. And the second is to actually show you what you're actually carrying on your backpack dynamically. So that's why they're called dynamic backpacks. They're taken from the Saber Gear backpacks with permission from Treasure Chest and all the other folks that contributed to making those great looking set of backpacks. But they've been completely custom tailored to Frostfall. So let me show you those now. So they're crafted at a tanning rack under miscellaneous, and they can be made out of pretty much any kind of pelt. In this case, I just happen to have a cave bear pelt, a bear pelt, and a saber cat snow pelt on me. But things like snow bear pelts and wolf pelts and fox pelts, all those will work in various quantities to make a backpack. So you should be able to use a pretty wide assortment of things. So let's make a black one. And you'll notice that the visual design is very simple by default. It just has a drawstring with no pieces of equipment, just some straps to show you where things can go. So let's go ahead and pick up a cooking pot, and you'll notice that immediately it displays on the backpack. Woodcutter's axe goes right there. Torch goes right there. And here's a small high tent, and this is actually a new mesh just for Frostfall for my tents. I thought that the design looked a lot more like what the components of a small high tent would be. So you put that on, there's your bedroll. So any tent that you carry, you'll display a bedroll when you're carrying it. So something I've spent a lot of time doing is really increasing the amount of visual customization options that you have with backpacks. So not only do you have the 3 color choices in pelts, but if you happen to have one of the amulets of the 9 divines in your inventory, you can actually attach that to the backpack as well. Any one of the 9 divine amulets will work. And you'll notice that they give you a benefit of exactly half of what that amulet would normally give you if it was just the amulet. So you could wear, theoretically, a backpack and an amulet at the same time and sort of get a time and a half bonus. So let's go with Debella. There it is. So with all of the additional options that you have for crafting these, there's actually 33 different backpack designs that you can pick from. And all of them I've made sure have a world mesh that is Havoc enabled and physics enabled. And there's some additional logic built into this too. It's not just whether or not you have it in your inventory in terms of your extra survival gear. So if I equip a woodcutter's axe, it will disappear from the backpack. And if I'm using a torch, it just disappears from the backpack as well. Just like that. This is actually not driven by scripting. I think there's maybe 3 lines of script code that drives this. It's all driven by magic effects and conditions on magic effects, which, if you're not a modder, what that means is that it's driven by native game code, and I had a unique opportunity to do that on these. So there's very few points of failure. This should basically always work. Now, if you happen to really like the visual design of the original Saber Gear backpacks, where it has a dragon's head emblem on the back, I've preserved that. It's an extra, it's actually a 10th option outside of the 9 divines. It's a kine option is what I've called it, and you just supply a dragon bone to do it. And it will give you a bonus that's relevant to an aspect of kine. In this case, it's damage taken from animals is reduced by 5%, so you can do that. Now, one thing I thought about was that even though you put this amulet on your backpack, you may want it back at some point in the future. I've given you a way to do that. So if you go back to the tanning rack and you look under jewelry, you can get your amulet back, but it will destroy the backpacks. The reason for that is because it's a hard-coded game requirement where a crafting recipe can only have one item as a result. And I figure if you're doing this, what you want is the amulet the most. So you can do that, but it will destroy your backpack. So a while back, I put out a call on the Bethesda forums and TES Alliance for a new set of woodcutter's axe meshes that show the woodcutter's axe in various states of wear and decay and things like that. I decided to get rid of tint durability because it became too technically challenging to keep up with new tints being introduced. And instead I decided to go with axe durability. So your axe will wear down as you harvest more firewood. But I wanted to show that visually. And so someone by the name of Hannah built a really, really great set of new axe meshes and textures for this that show it in just getting really, really grungy looking as time goes on. Why do I mention that here? Well, it's because not only will it display that way in your inventory, but if you happen to pick one of those up, it will actually display it on your backpack as well. So your backpack actually shows you your actual axe durability, and as you can see, this looks really, really worn. And so you can just look at your character without even going into your inventory and say, hey, wow, you know, I should I should repair that as soon as I can. So that's dynamic backpacks on Frostfall 2.0. I think that about covers it. The last couple of things I wanted to mention was I'm going to try to have a beta test out by tonight. And today is Sunday, November 4th, 2012. So I'm going to try to have this beta up before Monday morning. It might be very late tonight, but we'll see. And it's really just for testers only. You can download it at the Nexus under miscellaneous files or whatever it is at the bottom. And this is not for general play. This is really just for those who really want to help me test and provide valuable feedback. So if you would like to help me test, I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. You know, that's really what makes this mod great, is having so many people that are willing to test. So the last thing I want to mention is that I'm actually a developer now at a small indie studio in the UK called Subterranean Games, and we're putting a game together called War for the Overworld, and it's a game that has its roots in Dungeon Keeper and Evil Genius and things like that. So I've got a link in the description to that. We just recently put out a tech demo. It's not even an alpha, it's a tech demo. It's just to show off the graphics and things like that. And if that's something that you'd like to see made, please visit our forums, please check out the tech demo, and you know, keep up with that project. This is my first steps into professional game development, so wish me luck. Anyway, I'll talk to you all very soon. Please keep an eye out for the beta test very shortly. Thank you.